You're listening to Beyond Wellness Radio, bringing you the cutting edge in health, biohacking, and sports performance. Stay up to date and listen anywhere and anytime on your computer, tablet, or smartphone by subscribing on iTunes. Catch your host, Dr. Justin Marchegiani, as he answers your burning health questions as well as interviews from world-renowned guest experts. For more Beyond Wellness Radio, go to beyondwellnessradio.com.
Hey there, it's Dr. Justin Marchegiani. Welcome to Beyond Wellness Radio. Feel free and head over to beyondwellnessradio.com where you can access our full podcast transcriptions. While you're there, you can also sign up for our thyroid and female hormone video series. This series goes into the root cause of why your hormones are out of balance. While you're there, you can also schedule a functional medicine consult with Dr. Justin, myself, where we'll dig deeper into the root cause of your health challenges. Feel free and think of sharing this podcast with at least one person. This podcast grows by people sharing it. Sharing is caring. If you can think of one person that can benefit from this information, please feel free and share it. If you're enjoying the podcast, make sure you subscribe on iTunes. You can also click below the video or podcast where you'll see the iTunes review button and leave us a review. You can also sign up for the newsletter at beyondwellnessradio.com where you'll get updates before anyone else. Thank you so much and enjoy the show.
Dr. J, hello, welcome.
Evan, it's great to be here. How's your day going?
Hey, it's great, man. It's Friday. I think our house is going to blow down. We're having extreme winds due to the temperature warming up, but besides that, everything's peachy.
That's great. I'm in an exceptionally good mood this Friday. It's middle of February. And it's gorgeous here in Austin, Texas. How is it with you over in Louisville?
We're in the mid-60s, which is unseasonably warm, and I'm not complaining. Blue sky, so I'm in an equally good mood too.
Love it.
Hey, so yesterday I had a guy that commented on my YouTube channel, and he said, "Hey, I'm really loving the podcast with you and Dr. Justin. Can you guys do a show on workout supplements?" And this is something I don't think we've covered. Maybe I've kind of alluded to it before, but I figured this is a perfect time and opportunity for us to really geek out and talk about how the things that we talk about all the time, how those can be specifically used for workouts. And so for me, I guess a backstory before I got into the kind of space where I'm at now, I was the guy taking the pre-workouts that had the amino acids in it. That was great. The intra-workout, BCAAs and things like that. But that also had caffeine added to it. It had sucralose. It had artificial colors, just the generic bodybuilding stuff. That was like 2009 era when bodybuilding was really cool, and bodybuilding.com supplements were what everybody was taking. I'm sure you remember those days. And then that died out, and now companies are trying to promote more like paleo-inspired workout supplements, which I'm down with as long as it's not bunk. So now I've transitioned into a different supplement protocol, and I don't really take them that much for workouts, but we can at least talk about them. So what about you? I mean, what's your history in terms of your fitness? Did you used to take that type of silly stuff, and then you transitioned into not silly stuff, or tell me about it?
Yeah, so when it comes to supplements pre or post workout, I was a personal trainer for many years. So I've used some of these things on, with my training clients back in the day before I was a doctor. And then today I'm kind of more on the functional medicine side, but a lot of these things we use in functional medicine practice, but I still use them myself personally with my patients to help improve workouts. So there's a lot of different things from protein powders that can be helpful with just low-hanging fruit like diet and good multivitamins and fish oils, to anti-inflammatory herbs for workouts that are more inflammatory based, where you have that really extra sore muscle tissue after the workout, to creatine and branched chain amino acids, to different things afterwards to help you recover. So there's a lot of cool things that we can do. We just want to make sure we have the foundation right, and that is sleep and diet first, because if we don't do that, we're just rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, if you will.
Totally, yeah. So as always, we've probably talked about this before, but if you're listening to this, we're assuming that you already have the sleep dialed in, you already have the nutrition dialed in. Now you're ready to spend the extra money on some of the supplements to supplement the great things that you have in place. So you mentioned the protein. That was something that I also switched around to. I was doing just the optimum nutrition, garbage whey protein quality, I'm sure, back in the day. Now using just a different blend. Sometimes collagen protein, sometimes collagen protein, sometimes grass-fed whey. Sometimes I'm actually just getting into the beef. I know you love the beef
Like
protein.
beef too, yeah.
So I'm going to kind of switch over and integrate that as well. And then what else am I doing lately? I've done creatine, and I just I know you get the water weight. I know you get the increased strength and things while you're on it, but as soon as I come off of creatine, I feel so depleted, so it almost makes me not want to go back on it ever again. What about you?
Yeah, so off the bat, a real simple thing is once the diet's there and a good multi and a good fish oil is there as kind of foundation, good protein powder can be helpful, especially if you're doing a morning workout. So a lot of people will go and they'll work out on an empty stomach. Where if you're doing maybe a 10, 15, maybe a 20-minute workout in the morning, kind of a quick circuit or Tabata or interval kind of hit type of training, that may be okay. That may be fine as long as you come back and have a good shake or eat your breakfast. That may be fine. Again, when in the morning time when you wake up, our cortisol rhythm is at its peak. So cortisol is the highest. And if we're doing a workout and our body's reaching for amino acids and nothing's in the bloodstream outside of access to our muscle tissue, guess what's going to be used up?
Yeah, it's your muscle tissue.
Your muscle.
It happened to me. I shrunk. I mean, I'm pretty strong and I've got a good shape to me now, but I mean, I lost 25 pounds over a year, just a cortisol bomb from excess stress, man. It wasn't worth it.
I know. Well, you're getting jacked up again, so that's good. I'm really
Yep.
happy to see that. And I got you on Skype video today, so
Yeah.
I can actually be a testimonial to that.
Yeah. So you didn't answer the question yet. Did you have experience with creatine? Do you use it? Did you use it previously?
So regarding with creatine, I have used it. There's a couple different types of creatine. There's phosphocreatine and there's crealkaline creatine. Again, creatine works by giving your muscle that extra few seconds of instantaneous fuel, which is great for like powerlifting or having a really powerful movement pattern for those first 3 to 10 seconds. And I do have experience with it, and I do find it to be very helpful. There's some research showing that it can increase growth hormone as well. It just depends on what your goal is. If you're trying to get into the gym and maximize your lift and continue to increase in weight, will it provide a little benefit, a little growth hormone boost? Yes. Do I use it every day? No. My staples are going to be, I'll start off from one, would be protein powder. I like that in the morning because I can just mix it with water and or collagen, whether it's whey protein, grass-fed whey, whether it's branched chain aminos with it, whether it's collagen or beef or pea. I'll typically choose one or two. I'll mix collagen in it, and I'll do that first thing in the morning with just water. So then I have amino acids flowing in my bloodstream. So when I work out, my body can access that, and it will grab that over the muscle because it's already there. It's low-hanging fruit, if you will.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I ran across a study the other day that was talking about crealkaline and how it's no superior benefit over the regular creatine. So I think it's the German one, the Creapure, the type of monohydrate. I get so damn thirsty while I'm on creatine that it's exhausting. I mean, you're drinking so much more water, for me at least, to stay hydrated. Even if I throw in more electrolytes and everything, it's just I'm chasing the dragon, and that's why I've kind of not taken it very often anymore.
And I think everyone here should kind of look and see where they're at, assess what their goals are. If your goal, again, most people, frankly, their goal regarding health and exercise is just to look good naked. And that's but pretty much it. We want to go a little bit deeper and be healthy and have energy, but that's it. Now, outside of that, if you're trying to perform better, whether it's in your CrossFit, at an exercise or sport, these extra performance things may be worth it for you. So we're going to go through a couple of things here, try them, see how it looks and feels, see if you get an extra benefit. And then if you do, then you just got to weigh it out. Is it worth it for you? So we got the superficial side looking good, and then we have the energy performance side and just trying to kick more butt. If you're one of these people that it makes your month by having a PR in a certain lift, these supplements may help get you there outside of all the foundational stuff we already mentioned.
Totally. So I would say, I guess we'll talk level 2 for me, which I guarantee this is where you would eventually go to, is to the adaptogens. So rhodiola is really awesome for endurance. I've talked about it before when I used to work at the park and I was hiking miles and miles per day and I was exhausted at the end of the day. As soon as I started adding in about a 500 milligram dose of rhodiola per day, my exhaustion was gone. My mood was better. I felt so damn good by the end of the workday. I was like, wow, I could hike another 8 hours. And it's really a staple supplement for me in terms of performance. And then the mushrooms are something that I'll get to, but I wanted to see if there's any herbs that you wanted to add to the picture here.
Yep, I'm a big fan of adaptogens just to help buffer cortisol, to help with mood. Also, some adaptogenic herbs like eleuthero have been used for many, many decades. There's a protocol called the Russian protocol where eleuthero has been used to improve sex hormones like DHEA and testosterone, which can be helpful for workout recovery. So that's a really great adaptogen for overall performance enhancement in the gym. Also, tribulus is one that improves LH, which in women can help with, or FSH in women, which can help with estrogen balance. And in men, it's LH, which helps with testosterone. So it can be very good to give yourself that anabolic boost in your workouts.
Yeah, some people, I don't know why, some companies, if people are looking and you don't see eleuthero, sometimes you'll see it called Siberian ginseng. I don't know why they call it that and not eleuthero, but in case you're looking on a label, that's what you're looking for, is the Siberian. I know the Panax ginseng, they have the American ginseng out there too, but specifically for performance, to me, I felt best on the Siberian, the eleuthero, and then combine that with cordyceps, which is my favorite performance enhancing mushroom.
Yep.
I think you and I have talked about that before for other uses.
And cordyceps is great for modulating the immune system, but it also improves DHEA. So I think it's having that DHEA benefit. And regarding ginsengs, a lot of these adaptogenic herbs are in a family known as ginseng. So you have like maca is Peruvian ginseng, ashwagandha is Indian ginseng, red root, or I think it's, let me see here. The Panax augustifolia, that's, I think, American ginseng. And there's a couple other Siberian ginsengs, eleuthero, and there's a handful of others going around there. But they add ginseng to it. So you may get confused with the same names equaling the same herb. So just kind of keep that in mind.
Yeah, there's like a Korean ginseng, I know. The reason that I like eleuthero is because most of the time when I read research on it, they consider it the least stimulating of ginsengs, where you're not pushing people into like anxiety, but we're still kind of giving a good adaptogenic effect behind the scenes. And so combining the Siberian ginseng with the cordyceps, with the rhodiola, I mean, that's an incredible stack just for daily life. But if you are trying to stay up on your game, because here's the thing I worry about, maybe we could digress from the supplements a little bit, is that I worry that a lot of people, well, it's not that I worry, I see it, a lot of people, they don't have a protocol in place, and so they keep working out harder and harder, and they keep wanting to get gains, but then they hit this plateau or they push themselves into adrenal issues. I know you and I have spoken about CrossFit a dozen times, and it's like you don't have to beat yourself down like that, because then you run into a bunch of other problems, and then you're taking other supplements to try to rebound your health that you screwed up in the first place from a workout that was too frequent, you didn't have enough rest time in between, didn't have these amino acids you've talked about, didn't have too intense or too long in duration, things like that.
Yeah, I agree. So if we summarize, protein powder is great pre-workout just to get in your system. It's also great post-workout. Now, again, people are thinking, well, why don't we just eat protein? Well, it just takes a few hours to get into that amino acid form, right? An hour to pass the stomach, another hour or two through the small intestine, getting into the bloodstream. It may take a couple of hours. So the protein powder gets in your system, in your body in 20 minutes. So that's why we like that.
And I know you've talked about using free-form amino acids. So when you're working out, like currently with your plan, are you doing BCAAs in like a powder? Are you doing capsules? What's your kind of preferred method? And are you taking BCAAs?
Yeah, so BCAAs are great. These are branched chain amino acids, leucine, valine, and isoleucine. No, I think it's, is that correct?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are the three major ones. Now, the benefit of those branched chain aminos is our muscles can take those amino acids up for fuel right away. Typically, when our body uses amino acids for fuel, it has to go through a process known as gluconeogenesis. I know if Jimmy Moore was here, he'd love that. That's my impression of him. So gluco means glucose, neo means new, genesis means forming. So it's the formation of new glucose through protein, and it's a cortisol-dependent step. That's why, sometimes going too low carb can be stressful on your adrenals, but your body takes that glucose or takes that protein, brings it into glucose, and then uses the glucose for fuel. So it's a very roundabout way of generating energy. The branched chain aminos are great because it just, boom, it's right there. We're just using those aminos for fuel right away. It's just more direct. So it's great if you're doing more intense workouts that could be catabolic and breaking down tissue, because you can put that in, you can sip 20 grams of it. According to Charles Poliquin, is a pretty good place to be at. during the workout. You can do it 10 pre, 10 post. I'll just have a little cup with me and just sip it during. There's one that I created, BCAA Synergy, on my site, that is branched chain amino acids sweetened with stevia. The majority is sweetened with aspartame and sucralose or Splenda, which are bad. So I have that one that I've formulated, and I use that. It works great. And I like that during the workout. So my favorite off the bat supports are going to be protein powder, adaptogens, like you mentioned, cordyceps, medicinal mushrooms, which I consider an adaptogen, and some of the BCAAs as well. Any thoughts?
Yeah. No, that's a pretty good summary. And a lot of people, they'll go towards the caffeine, they'll go towards the stimulants. You really don't need that. You don't have to be so jacked up during your workouts. Your goal is to break down the muscle tissue by using more reps and more weight than you did last time. And that's the goal, is to break down the muscle tissue. You have these little micro tears in there so that you can rebuild it. The goal is not to destroy yourself. And if you're feeling just awful after your workout, and even an hour or 2 hours after, you just feel dead, you're pushing it too hard. It doesn't have to be that hard. A lot of the stuff that I do, and I maintain a 6-pack year round, and I maintain a which, I'm an ectomorph. I'm naturally skinnier anyway.
Love it.
So I'm able to. People are like, oh, that doesn't count. You're just skinnier. But it's strength too from the core, and I don't ever really put myself into an extreme state where I'm on the ground, exhausted. I'm covered in sweat, and I see people all the time. They take pictures of themselves on social media, like, oh, I'm so dead from my workout. It's like, I don't ever want to feel like that. That's
Right.
garbage.
And then the 3 rules I give all my patients with adrenal issues or adrenal dysfunction, adrenal fatigue, is number 1, make sure your workout's energizing. Number 2, make sure you can emotionally repeat the workout. Like in your head, you're like, all right, 10 minutes later, can I do it again? If you're like, whoa, no way, then you're probably doing too much. You want to feel like you can kind of get your arms around, like, yeah, I could do that again. That's no problem. And then number 3, how do you feel later on that day if it's a morning workout, or that next morning if it's an afternoon or nighttime workout? Do you feel hit by a bus, factoring in you slept good and you ate good, or do you feel pretty good the next day? So if you answer positively to those questions, then you're okay. If you answer negatively, where it's fatigue, yeah, you emotionally can't do it, or you're hit by a bus the next morning, you probably want to curtail your exercise, either do shorter workouts and or more rest time in between, or decrease the intensity a bit too if that's needed.
Totally. Yeah. I would say most people are on one end of the spectrum. One spectrum being they're not getting exercise at all and they need more. And then the other spectrum, for some reason, I don't know about you, but I don't have many clients that are in that middle ground. It's either they aren't doing anything and they want to start, or they're training for a triathlon or some goofy mud runner event, some 48-hour endurance event that I told you about last week with one guy. And it's like, we have to just find a happy medium. You don't have to be so crazy. Exercise is something that was built into our ancestors' lifestyle. This is just something we did. If we had our hunter-gatherer ancestors around to watch us in our CrossFit box doing X amount of intensity stuff, they would literally laugh at us, because the goal back then was to only use and expend what energy was necessary. And even Dave Asprey talks about this, and his main goal is to do the least amount possible and still maintain, healthy muscle mass. And I have a similar goal. I'd say maybe I'm a little bit step above that, but I want to do pretty much what I have to do to maintain muscle and feel good and feel strong and be able to sprint as fast as I need to. And beyond that, I don't really care. I don't really care about numbers. I don't really care about personal records. And it's not to say that I'm tooting my horn, but this is something, a more realistic approach to people, I think, than always carrying around like the little journal with the pen and like, oh, I went down 5 pounds in my bench this week. It's like, who cares, man?
Right. I agree. Why do you exercise? And I typically exercise to put force and demand on my muscle and bone structure so it grows and stays strong. And then number 2, to alter my hormones in a way that keeps me healthy and youthful, right? We know part of the stimulation to the brain comes through movement. So I'm also working out for my brain. I think that's hard to get people's head to wrap around, that pun intended, because exercise has a lot to do with your brain. You're stimulating the motor cortex, the sensory cortex in the brain, which keeps it stimulated, which keeps it growing, because if you don't use it, you lose it. And that plasticity, that the brain typically creating more neural connections, is going to be based on stimulation. So keep the brain moving. And Socrates even knew this too. The famous philosopher, he had a lot of his scholars and students in the philosophy schools training with the Olympic athletes of that day because he knew real thinking was dependent upon movement, and he had them training with the top athletes of that era.
That's so cool. Yeah, I know for a fact, anecdotally, and just when I go out and I go for a hike or I'm actually in the gym, when I'm done, I'm just like, oh, my mental clarity is enhanced so much. And I mean, it's such a great feeling. Maybe we could say that's due to a little spike in cortisol that we're causing from the exercise. It's hard to say. I know the BDNF that we could geek out on, that goes up too. So it's
Yep.
hard to say, but it's a real tangible feeling. And people out there listening that you may be struggling with motivation and you're like, oh, I need to get motivated to work out. Look at the lifestyle. And we talked about the foundations. Like, sometimes if you need the motivation, the best way is just to do it. You might not, if you wait around for inspiration or you wait around to feel motivated to go to the gym, you may never do it.
Right.
Sometimes you just have to act, and then maybe that will start the snowball.
80% of life is just showing up. It's very rare to show up to the gym and not work out. So if you can just say, you know what, I'm feeling like crap today, I'm just going to show up. And then if I leave in 2 minutes or 5 minutes, fine. If I just do a 4-minute Tabata and I'm out, fine. If you can kind of just get have that conversation with yourself to get yourself cajoled to the gym and just do even 4 minutes worth, or just do a set of biceps or a set of squats and leave, fine. But a lot of times momentum starts to grow and you start having a better workout.
Yeah. I guess maybe I think we've covered everything, but I would say we should talk about what we haven't recommended for
Actually, there's one more thing
supplementation.
I want to touch upon that I would like.
Yeah.
So there's a mitochondrial support product, Mitosynergy, that I've formulated, but I'm going to just break down some of the nutrients in it that I like. So in this product, we have the L-carnitine, which I like because L-carnitine is important with bringing fat into the mitochondria. That can be very helpful, especially people that have protein issues. You need methionine and lysine to make carnitine in your body. So if you have protein issues, carnitine can be super helpful. Also, curcumin, it's an anti-inflammatory herb. Again, some of the inflammation after the workout can be, you can help reduce some of that, which is great. So less soreness. So I like curcumin as well. Also, ribose. Ribose is an awesome nutrient that's great for the Krebs cycle and for generating ATP. That's great as well. And then B vitamins. It's amazing what simple activated methylated B vitamins can do for energy. So I put these all in one bottle, but anyone listening can look for those things individually and think about it and try to make sure you have those in your workout. And we'll put some links in the show notes as well. But those are some great things. And even Krebs cycle nutrients such as malic acid and succinic acid and fumaric acid. These are Krebs cycle nutrients that are Krebs cycle, which generates ATP, which is like the currency of energy in our cells. Those are some Krebs cycle nutrients that can be used to generate more ATP as well.
Yeah, I forgot about taurine. Taurine's another good one that I've used isolated and had
Yep.
great results with it.
Yeah.
For the heart.
Yeah, so just to summarize that Mitosynergy product, those key ingredients you want to look for is the ribose, the carnitine, and then on that vein, CoQ10 also fits there as well. The B vitamins and the curcumin, or the anti-inflammatory turmeric, to help buffer inflammation post-workout. I like
Nice.
those. Anything you want to add about that?
No, I think that's good. I mean, the mitochondrial support is good too. So the PQQ is helpful. I haven't used it specifically for workouts, but that's another one. And just combine. I mean, there is a synergy without a doubt with all these ingredients together. So kind of mixing and blending and just kind of taking your time with everything. Do your research and be smart about it. But generally, adding things together really amplifies the effect.
Yeah, and I'm at the place where I'm just starting to formulate things for me that I'm using myself. I know you're doing the same thing with some of the adaptogens that you're creating and some of the things that I'm doing. So we're just at the place in our health careers where we're like, all right, let's just start creating what we want for ourselves, and then we can just share it with people. And if they're interested, that's great. But we can at least break down what about the constituents are so good, so then people can apply this information to other things that are out there. So far, I think we have our good, clean protein powders and collagens. We have adaptogenic herbs and medicinal mushrooms. We have branched chain amino acids. We have creatine. We have Krebs cycle nutrients and B vitamins, CoQ10, ribose, and anti-inflammatory curcumin. Anything
Yep.
you want to add to that?
Yes, I do. One last thing, something that's been really helpful for a few of my older female clients that are avid bike riders and they're avid power lifters and things like that. They're kind of crazy go-getters. We've used the Arthro Soothe gel from
Oh, yes.
Designs
Yes.
because it has the menthol in there. I believe it's got maybe peppermint or eucalyptus oil in there as well.
Got some
And
enzymes too.
yeah, and
Boswellia too.
yeah, I think Boswellia, aloe maybe even. I
Hmm.
can't remember. Uh, but I've used that with great success, and they just kind of rub it on their joints, their elbows, their knees, whatever, from a topical perspective too. And I would consider that a good like post-workout thing. I mean, internally is huge, getting the nutrients in, but externally we can do some stuff too, and that's definitely superior than some of the creams and stuff you'll get at a generic Walgreens or something that are going to be loaded with methylparabens and all these other preservatives and stuff that you really don't want in your body or on your skin.
That's great. And also, one last little thing that can be a gem, because a lot of this is post workout timing, but getting a little bit of extra carbohydrate, maybe 30 or 40 grams, 20 to 40 grams, depending on how healthy you are, post workout can make a big difference in increasing insulin. And people may think, well, insulin's bad, but insulin's also a growth hormone, so to speak. It helps bring things into cells. Now, most people are having too much insulin and they're bringing carbohydrate into their cells and converting it to fat, but we can use insulin and spike it by having a little bit of carbs and then putting a whole bunch of protein along with it, and that will bring those amino acids into the cells, i.e. our muscles, to help our muscles grow. But that insulin bump can also help blunt the effects of cortisol post-workout. So higher insulin can actually drop cortisol. And again, a lot of bodybuilders at a higher level use insulin from an injection standpoint, which I would not recommend because you could go hypoglycemic and go into a coma or shock. So you don't want to do that supplementally, but you can use diet to artificially boost up insulin, blunt cortisol, and shuttle more nutrients and amino acids into the muscle for repair.
Yeah, so not chocolate milk, but maybe a sweet potato with some butter and cinnamon instead.
Dude, that is my workout. That is my post carb meal right there. Or a little bit of plantains too. Those are good. Or some of the yuca rolls. Those can be amazing.
I've never had that.
Oh, they got them at Whole Foods now. If you go to like Estancia, that's in Austin, or if you go to like a big chain is Fogo de Chao, they have
Yep.
some of these yuca rolls, which can be really nice. Or yuca fries can be great.
Yummy.
Like those. Is there any other closing thoughts here, Evan?
That's it. I think we wrapped it up. And, the one thing I kind of hit on earlier that I didn't complete the sentence of is just watch out for the garbage pre-workout stuff. There's a lot of these like fat
Yes.
burners and thermogenics and all of these stimulants and too much guarana and
Yes.
400 milligrams of caffeine. You've got artificial blue colors. You've got, oh God, there's so much garbage workout supplements out there. Be smart. I mean, support the body system. You don't have to have this like super trendy sounding pre-workout thing to get you going. Support the body, use the mushrooms, use the herbs, use the vitamins, use the proteins, use the real food, use the sleep, the stress reduction, etc. And you're not going to need any of that garbage, and you're going to save your money and your health.
Yeah, and I find sometimes it's good having a little bit of a supplement that can give you that little bit of boost or energy. Because sometimes for me, it's like I just need that little bit of energy kick to get me motivated. So using some, whether it's the herbs that are adaptogenic or using some of the Krebs cycle nutrients like the B vitamins or the L-carnitine or ribose, for me can give me that just a little bit of energy kick, which allows me to feel more motivated to get up and go to the gym.
Yeah, I'll do matcha occasionally as well. It's kind of
Matcha.
a pre-workout. Yeah, where I'll get 40, maybe 50 milligrams of caffeine with a little bit of theanine in there, so I'm kind of calm and clear. And that's my pre-workout caffeine boost, if any.
Great. And then what about workout timing? Do you like to do it before 6 or 7 p.m. at night? Is there a time threshold for you?
Yeah, totally. I'm sure you would say the same to your patients. Is I don't recommend the super late workouts because then people can't sleep good because you're bumping that cortisol up too much and pumping out adrenaline and stuff like that. So I try to get a midday workout in. I know maybe everybody doesn't have the luxury, but I feel best in between like 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. if I can get a workout in between, after breakfast, but before lunch, I feel the best. And then lunch is just so delicious. Like I worked out legs real hard the other day
Yeah.
and came home and I made some elk burgers and I had tons of butter with some purple potatoes and some pink salt.
Purple,
I
huh?
felt so good. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think at least a 3-hour buffer before bed. Anyone that has HPA axis dysfunction, hypothalamic pituitary adrenal issues, adrenal fatigue is the slang, you want to be careful because it's easy to get those the sympathetic nervous system, that fight or flight nervous system ramped up. And then once it's on, it's hard to turn off, and that can really disrupt your sleep if you're doing it too late.
And what would you say? I'd say 99 out of 100 people listening have some level of HPA dysfunction. So pretty much everybody, don't work out late at night.
Yeah, and if you do, well, hit up some of the adaptogens, hit up some magnesium powder, maybe some phenibut after your workout. Do some things to help calm you down and bring you down. That could be a good strategy if you do.
Right.
Cool, Evan. Anything else?
No, that's it, man. That was fun.
Anyone that listening here that enjoys the podcast, give us a review over on iTunes. Click below so get some more information and to help kind of keep sharing the word. And feel free and write to us because we've been doing podcasts on viewers' topics the last few weeks. So we want to provide everyone listening more great info. So feel free and reach out. The squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Yeah. The YouTube channel is a good place too. You could check the videos out there that we have, and then there's the comments are there for a reason. So it's not that we don't have stuff that we want to talk about, but we obviously want to prioritize what you all are interested in.
That's it. Awesome, Evan. You have a great Friday.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Got a question for Dr. J? Go to beyondwellnessradio.com and click the questions button. Then tune in to hear the answer. Also, if you like the show, click below to review us on iTunes. For more Beyond Wellness Radio, go to beyondwellnessradio.com.